Greetings and salutations, Internet. Got some good news and I got some bad news. Um, Good news is Epstein wasn't the creep we thought he was. Thought he was sex trafficking children to these rich, powerful people. But they investigated themselves and they found there's no wrongdoing. There was like Epstein, he was like trafficking thousands of homeless children to himself. It was just his own thing. He was hanging out with the rich billionaires. Just he was just bragging about his pedophilia. Turns out Bill Gates, amazing guy, just stand up human being. Um, so that's the good news. Epstein was a good guy. He wasn't, because if he was actually trafficking children to rich, powerful people, they would be arrested by now. This is America. Are you kidding me? The sad news is, well, since he just didn't have to get dirt on anyone to coerce them to do something. This just means that our politicians just naturally love Israel and bombing children, committing genocide more than they love America. So that's just who they are. They weren't on any Epstein list because there was no list. They just love committing genocide, spending all that money on killing people instead of helping Americans. So that's kind of concerning. So, well, it's just I'm reminded of I think it was Casino with Robert De Niro. He was having it was multiple jackpots won in the casino he was overseeing, and he went to the guy who only got the job because his brother was connected. And he went to him and he was like, he was like, so these motherfuckers got 2-3 jackpots back to back. You didn't have any question. He was like, you're fired. He was like, best case scenario, like you don't, like you're just an idiot. Like you didn't see they were scamming and you were possibly in on it. So it's like it doesn't matter at that point. You're fired because it's just a dereliction of duty either way. And that's how I am with the Epstein, all of the if they whoever was on the list or not on the list. It was said that Joe Biden didn't have to get on the list because his brother had an island right next to Jeffrey. So it's just like you could have people like that. He's skating by, just got his own island. Taking the even younger kids there to smell him or whatever the hell he was doing. It's just like it don't need to speculate. He could have just been babysitting. But yeah, the fact that you were in office watching this country go to shit like my entire life, it doesn't matter if you're on the list or not. You got to go. It's like you're in on it or you're stupid. But yeah, I do believe a good amount of them are in on it. Looks to Nancy Pelosi. Nate, will you ever come back to YouTube? Man, I do everything in my power to get people away from YouTube. I have still my tech channel. That's the only channel remaining. And it was I do like a stream on there, but it's like I don't think about YouTube at all. For me, that's a tool of the oppressor. It's just like they had AI algorithms seeking my shit out. And at this point, if you see because my content is still up on YouTube, other people posted it, so other people are making more money off of my shit than me. That's offensive to me. Same with the fucking Apple Music. It's just like I went to put some of my stuff on there, and then I found out people were already putting my shit on there. And I'm like, this is it's infuriating. I need if you got some legal assistance that you could recommend, that would be great. Hello, nephew. Hey, auntie. Looking forward to visiting. Uh, Trying to plan a talking to Jan about a Fisher camping trip. I don't want to get into details now, but yeah. Do you post on TikTok? I did. TikTok took down more of my videos than YouTube, but they didn't. They never took down my channel, but they took down hella shit. The only shit that uh, got shown favorably was advertisements. Shit, I was going through website for sponsorships because the one I was originally using, which was my favorite, got bought up by Google. Then they just gutted it, tore it apart. I'm telling you, they go the extra mile to try to see to it people who oppose their agenda get into the poorhouse. Nate, you'll always be a goat. I wish we can rewatch your some of your videos that are gone. Well, Odyssey.com has the biggest back catalog of my content. Like they pretty much mirrored everything that I had over at uh, Netflix on the Netflix YouTube channel. So it's like that they were able to back that stuff up. You can go there. I got a lot of old stuff over on my Rumble. It's still a process for me to upload. Because I when I uploaded, I cut out whatever sponsored section was in there. It's just like the revolution will not be monetized. Um, yeah, so yeah, you can still watch that, and it's just like some of the really old stuff. Um, Before Be Good to Each Other, I'm gonna make it's a video coming, kind of explaining the whole arc of the YouTube content. It's gonna be uh, for some of the people who were there, yeah, but then also people who weren't there, like because it's hard to explain the whole situation I find myself in. You know, decades in, you know, to the censorship fight. My people are talking about Mahmoud Khalil getting free and all that shit, and it's just like people are just now becoming aware of like the censorship that's been taking place, and it's just like I've been acutely aware for well over a decade, and I would like to do something like Elaine Brown, where she got $80 million from like a lawsuit against the state of California because she was assaulted by someone representing the state, and she turned that into Black Panther housing, where housing towards the least of the hardest up people getting out of jail, chronically homeless people who have difficulty finding shelter. That's who the housing is meant for. And I just think of why is she personally having to fund that shit. Um, well, once we get justice for Nate's flaws, um, we get that $11 billion for being censored for over 11 years. Um, then I'll turn that into I'll expand on her idea. Just wipe out homelessness entirely. See a homeless person, just send them to go pick up their new spot. Um, then pass laws so corporations can't own property. Um, Homelessness solved. And also, I'm going to be a resident artist with a local studio, and I got Shama Suwant to agree to speak. She's going to be running for Congress, and she's like a real one. She was, one of the people, or one of the central people behind the Fight for 15, which continues to expand. Because they got in um, the legislation to keep up with inflation. So, like, I think the current minimum wage in Seattle is like over $20. and it's just like she talks about the people fighting her are the Democrats. They're on the Epstein list too. Bill Gates, or Bill Clinton, one of the OG Democrat Epstein list aficionados. And he tried to waiver. They showed him some of the women he raped. If he would have continued to push the line, they would have revealed more videos. The videos that don't exist, but they existed at one point. But yeah, I it was also, I had someone reach out to me, a family member, and just started randomly uh, talking about, what's gay, what's gay, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's uh, cool, you notice things. I'm like, did you notice what's really gay, like society in general? Yeah, we just had Pride Month, but uh, uh, I was just presented some information. I often thought, um, uh, when all this stuff with Diddy, like all of the gay stuff that happened at those parties, right? By these uh, people who you do not associate with that kind of behavior, right? Like people who try to present, just the utmost masculinity, Mr. I'll fuck you bitch, all that shit is actually having the cheeks pounded by greasy men at a Diddy party. Um, but I think like the shift in discussion is probably maybe the people who were at those parties, like they knew shit was coming, so it's like we can affect the culture. So let's just start making the coolest thing, so we can just come out. And I presented that to the family member, and he was chewing on it, but it was uh yeah, it is quite peculiar. Like the people who were perpetuating, back in when I was a kid, uh they had it doesn't get all over your face, it doesn't belong. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. You got naked bitches selling burgers, people going to Carl's Juniors with hard-ons, fat as hell, thinking about cheeseburgers, right? That was like the thing. Now it's like the exact opposite, but it's still a nation consumed with sex. But it's just like, just like it, for me, the going from one extreme to the next is not the same as finding balance. And I really think people have become extreme. I think if you got like I get these, I work with uh, local grassroots movements. I work with them on show up for when they were shutting down Boeing. We made them like have to shut down the in person aspect. They moved that shit online because they had to show off what those weapons could do. But it was like raised awareness. Like show power in numbers. I unite with anybody to do good, no one to do bad. So it's like when they're all about that, I'm down. But then they start pushing causes, and this is something that it was a red flag for me at the No Kings movement, right? Um, I when I show up to movements, I like to hear healthcare for all. If we're gonna be talking about healthcare, we talk about like getting the for-profit businesses out of judging um, who lives and who dies. That's the only way to save them. That's why the United Healthcare CEO got shot, because it was just like the system is just like it leads to that. So if you want to save more CEOs, we gotta get healthcare for all, right? That's how I feel any movement should address it, right? No kings, and this is not the first time I heard it. This is like always a red flag for me. Their thing is not healthcare for all. They want they were talking about helping transgender children with medicine for transgender children. They're like, oh, they have bills blocking this. I'm like, what? So we're funding gender hormone therapy, and we're not talking about healthcare for all. Like, how about like that's some superfluous shit at best. At worst, you could say a sterilization program that's being normalized by kids who don't have, who haven't hit puberty, don't know what they want, uh, and you get them obsessed with sexual issues at a young age before they can understand it. It's just like you're having. It's a bad combination. It's just like you should be teaching them how to define a good person and gravitate towards those. But like where they're being trained by people to hypersexualize them from a young age. I think that's and then give them medication to make them feel like they think they should feel or whatever. Uh, it's just like if you weren't um, making them obsessed about it, they wouldn't think about this shit. Oh, do I want to be a boy or girl, dude? Like I wish they had that shit when I was a kid. Like, I want to be a dinosaur. I sexually identify as a dinosaur. Can I infuse myself with DNA at a young age and get scales and have like a lizard tongue or it's just like it's opening Pandora's box. And I mean, outside of that, it's just incredibly narrow, and it's just like like to have anything because they were trying to get people to show up for transgender youth protests. I'm like, y'all, this is no healthcare for all. We just got out of a pandemic, and then no one is mentioning healthcare for all. Because before this, and like I said, they weren't the first people to try to pull this bullshit. That's why I say shit is a red flag. If it's not talking about putting giant corporations out of business, thereby protecting the people from guillotines, that's all I'm. This is the nonviolent revolution that I'm trying to get through because the other one is around the corner. Um, but yeah, it feels like a lot of this stuff is just meant to get us bickering about nothing. But no lie, you are truly goated. Oh, great appreciation. You mean the world to me. You are my everything. I swear the only thing that matters to me. Hope you're doing well. I can't complain. I wish I'm gonna show y'all the space once I get it set up. Um, but I got a dope little artist space and the place where we're gonna be having the teachings. I call it the Liberation Station. The theme is love through liberation. So it's gonna be Pan African to the tilt. We're gonna have um, some stuff right now. I'm printing some of the stuff that we're gonna be putting in the space. I got other artists helping to collaborate. I would get this artist piece, but I'll just wait till we put it in the space so y'all can see the full vision. And then I got other knickknacks and stuff already prepared. But it's gonna be that's gonna be something to record. So it's like collabing with Shama. That's like something that's been on the bucket list for a minute. Hey, let's go. That's dope. Cheers. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. And apologies. Let me make sure I'm not missing comments over here. Yeah. So yeah, this I normally shoot videos on the other side, but right now I got a 3D printer going. I don't want to like fuck shit up. Got like the cords hanging out. I don't want to like fuck up the build because that shit is this shit's been going since yesterday. But um, it's gonna be lit. Also, uh, Halloween is gonna be dope. I already know my costume. So if you weren't in the loop, past few costumes I had, I was uh, Stokely Carmichael on the day he became Kwame Ture. That was over a lot of people's heads. I mean, not just because I'm a lot lighter than Stokely. I had the name tag to clarify, and I had like the snake jacket I made custom with the Black Panther kit and all that. But only people who knew it was one of the professors at the school I work at is he knew Stokely. And he got it. We connect on that. With the love of the history on quite a because he also was a teacher for the Black Panthers. He didn't join properly, but he was a part of one of their programs as a teacher. And yeah, so I was Stokely Carmichael, and then after that I was Malcolm X. Uh, that's a combination. It's Malcolm X in a alternate universe where when he went to Hogwarts, and he got the power of magic, and he was able to prevent his assassination. So and then time he obviously fucks with dark magic because he thinks dark magic is beautiful. And then after that, I was Malcolm Weapon X or Weapon Malcolm X. Um, Malcolm, if he was in a universe where he had healing abilities because he was a mutant, and he went to the Weapon X program. So he had the claws, and just a fierce revolutionary. Obviously, I was considering a cross between Malcolm X and Professor X, so I could do Professor Malcolm X. But uh, that's still up for debate. But next this year, I was going to be what you call it, Django Fett. It's a cross between Django and Boba Fett. So they're both bounty hunters, and Django he just came to get the corporations that the slave trading business became. They grew into. So just fierce revolutionaries with superpowers is what I do for Halloween. Oh, and before all that, I was Tupac, who got bitten by a radioactive zombie virus that made him light skinned. They were trying to whitewash Tupac, kind of like what happened to Mike, like vitiligo from a zombie. Do you still use non-fluoride toothpaste? Uh, my water's extra fluoridated. I also like extra gluten. Uh, I mean, current toothpaste I got it was a freebie. Uh, but yeah, I make sure I spit all that shit out. Employee evaluation, yeah. If you want the new ones, they're over at rumble.com/NateFlix. I got some old ones there. But like I keep saying, the biggest back catalog of the old stuff is over at odyssey.com/@NateFlix. That's ODYSEE. They have all the stuff that was over at Nateflix on my YouTube channel. So you can find like all the stuff. But if you watch it over there, and if it was a sponsored video, you still got the sponsored content. If you watch it over at Rumble, I removed the sponsorship. So it's like the revolution will not be monetized. Do you still smoke weed? I partake judiciously. Where are your old Nate? Man, we're going to say it again. Rumble.com slash Nateflix, or you can do Nateflix.net and it'll take you there. for now. And then odyssey.com/@simplenateflix. I try to find them all the time. Yeah, you know. And if you see any of my shit on YouTube, I'm not saying it's not there. Uh, yeah, it's someone else posting my shit. If it's like employee evaluations, rewinds, as like people just take my shit and I right for the past few years, people made more money off of my content than I did. That's what YouTube, Google, fuck Google. It's not a company. It was started with CIA money. Every second they were focused on putting their competition out of business. They get patents to shit they didn't create, like when they bought Motorola. And how were they able to buy it? Why isn't Ask Jeeves buying up phone companies and having the same success as Google? Because it's government money, but that's your money. They use it to censor. I was like one of the first folks, and it's about time we get some legal retribution. But yeah, yeah, you can find all the stuff. I'm a centralize all the stuff. And then it's like stuff I want to edit before putting up because it's like older, and I pray that the people got better. Like some of the older employee evaluations, like it's making fun of some trifling shit, yeah, but hopefully the people got their lives together. Some of the people I posted videos about that, like they've killed themselves subsequently because of internet getting a hold of their shenanigans and going crazy on them. Not an advocate of that, obviously. But yeah, it's just I want to upload it in a way, like I've been just playing with covering up people's faces. Like it was like one video. It was a chick. She was like, she had like a YouTube channel where she was just talking about uh, the shenanigans she encountered being a mistress of the night. And doing stuff with a dog. Like she was talking about sucking off a dog and all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm like, man, she probably got a kid. And I'm like, I pray that she got her shit together. She's not doing this crazy shit. So I was just like, I was going to post it because I was like, it was trifling, but I'm like, it would be crazy if she just like did a complete 180. And then, her kids see that shit. I don't know. That's like something I've been rattling around. But like I said, Odyssey.com has the video is the unedited version, and I don't think that one has a sponsorship on it. So, but yeah, you just got to sit through some script on some of the stuff. And a lot of the sponsorships, some of the shit I actually used. I wrote to the wheels fell off. Some of it I lost in transportation, but it was still operational. Some of it I gave away, even though it was, whatever. But yeah, uh, uh, some of this, well, I have to go through it one by one. But I'm gonna do something about like uh, my experience with just the sponsorship aspect of social media and what I think is doing to a lot of opinion and forcing and shaping, molding the way we think about things. I hope the girl who ate her tampon is doing well. Yeah, yes, that's crazy. And that's like something I think about. Because when I was a kid, we didn't have a crisp HD camera in your pocket everywhere you went, where someone is just waiting for something to fuck up. So it's like, I just think of this dumb shit I did as a kid, where if we had what these kids today have, like it would just destroy lives. We're seeing it. It's like ticks and suicides and all that shit. Cyberbullying is a thing. Um, Yeah, so it's a knuck and fut situation. Just raise your kids Amish. So I raised my first five in Amish land. It was in near the Poconos. But yeah, I do want to. Do you want kids in the near future? I would need a woman I want my daughter to become before I can even think about that. And it's just, uh, it is a test. I mean, a lot of people have the right physical attributes. Man, you pick the wrong person, they will destroy your psychology, right? Try to win over someone who could just kill your spirit, even though the body wants what it wants. I mean, the area I'm in right now. It's a different mindset. Um, I think I was supposed to be on a trip to Atlanta. Found out like it was some criteria that I missed because I was busy last quarter. I wasn't able to um, participate in this one organization, which I needed to have something for me to go on the trip. So, but I was like looking forward to that. That's like some good breeding stock. Um, it's a mix, but it's just like some quality, a beautiful mindset. It's just like we did like a college tour, and when you get to like the DMV area, and I say everything is a mix. I know it's like shitty people, but I'm talking about just like finding people you actually connect with on some deeper shit. Remember that Home Depot story where that girl who had herpes in the hot tub, she kept trying to get at you? Yeah, that was. I had similar people like I've been fetishized a lot. I'll just say that, and it's just like I've had very offensive stuff that people put out as a compliment. Um, yeah, fun stuff. Hey Nate, can't stick around too long, but I just wanted to say I hope all is well. Well, I'm well with all, and it's a lot of dope opportunities that present it, and I'm gonna keep you abreast of the unfoldings with the art studio. And it's just we're gonna have some dope voices in there, revolutionary ideas. The Liberation Station is getting set up. I just had like a snafu with connecting with the person who's going to show me like the resources that we have to access. But I have the key to the space, and I'm making some stuff for it now. And I'm gonna check in with this shit, and I'm gonna get a different setup next time before I go live because this I didn't realize it was gonna take this long. So I'm gonna find a new space for it. But yeah, it's good to see you guys, and I'm gonna do this a lot more often. How do you honor your father's legacy, man? This is uh, community building. That's like my connection with my dad. It was like one of the things he was a pillar of his community, right? So he lost a lot of shit, like trying to help people who weren't ready to be helped. But that's who he was. And he had his small victories. I remember we had like this street. It was like an intersection that had a lot of accidents, and he was the first time I ever went to like a city council, was with my dad to petition for a stop sign. And yeah, so he was just like he was community minded. um he was a multifaceted individual. But yeah, so like one of the things that motivates me, because it feels like that's my connection. Shit. And then I was at an event with Shama Sawant. It was on my mom's birthday, It would just so happen to be International Day of Action. So it's just like that's what that was like a sign, because I gotta get justice for a lot of the shit that we're seeing right now is because there was no justice for people like my dad, because they had, like in 2008, that's when everyone lost. My dad got fucked over there a little bit. But like he really, back in the 90s, they had a similar situation for black homeowners. And yeah, my dad, so it's, I see so much of his struggle in other people's, and that's also, getting justice for him would also be finding justice for people who are going through it right now. It just reminds me of the saying: you can solve one person's problem, you can save the if you want to save the world, solve one person's problem. If that person's problem is systematic, yeah, it gets a lot of people out of the system. Um, how do you learn to stay grounded and follow your father's path despite the world changing around you, maybe for better or worse? And is this that AI generated therapy app? Um, uh, well, I mean, for me, so many parallels between what I do and what both my parents did. My mom used to always have these projects that included African textiles. Um, uh, I have a job that allows me to do that. I did like an event where it was an Africa Day celebration, and I was able to make these garments for all of the dancers. And yeah, and then also my one of my jobs is just basically, I'm using the hustle that my dad gave me when I was working for his construction site. I see a lot of parallels building on the tradition. So standing on the shoulders of giants. No such thing as a self-made person. It can come from nothing, but it's just like, yeah, you just a lot of the insights I have come from um, uh, uh, the stuff that was instilled to me um, from a young age, and I'm fortunate. And it's just at the same time, uh, uh, yeah, I'm starting to find the financial benefits of some of the stuff, but it's just like for me, I mean, it took a while. I remember I was with my ex, and I had been working at a job. It was basically getting paid to do stuff I was paying to do when working in these community groups, and it was like over a month before I got my first paycheck, and she was just like, "How you go?" She was getting mad, and I was like scared I was tiptoeing around it because I was like getting paid to do something that I would do for free or pay to actually do, because you have to pay fees to help the group, and it's just like so I was like too afraid to ask for my check because they realized they're not supposed to pay me, but the money came through, um, and yeah, a lot of people don't have something that they're proud of what they do. So they don't talk about what they do. They talk about what they make. I'm always weary of people who like they put first and foremost how much money they made, and they don't talk about what they did to make the money. Because it's just like usually that involves some shady shit, and people do the shadiest of shady shit with their own family, and it's just like you see someone escaping an estate war with the bulk of the money. That means that's the most vile one, right? And yeah, I encounter a lot of those types of people. Um, and, the only self-made people are the richest people. Who my dad only gave me 10 million. I turned that into 80. Like, yeah, because you can live off the interest. You can you also learn which politicians to bend or how to work the political system in your favor to buy off people to make your wealth expand. And most people don't have jobs to do that. That you're exploiting a broken system, and you uh, think you're the shit. And also, like people like Elon Musk. I'm using him as an example. I run into a million of them, or 0.1% of them. Um, but yeah, he was like talking about how you don't fix homelessness by giving people money and houses. They're drug addicts, right? Like you colonizing worthless scumbag, and it's just like the most entitled. Like you come from emerald mine money where you're just stealing from the people in South Africa. Your family thinks it belongs to you. You get rich investing in shit fucking like PayPal, being connected with government agencies that give you all these fucking subsidies. To subsidies while preventing us from having access to better cars like they do in China, right? We can get better cars for cheaper, but we want to protect American industry, so we give these subsidies of billions of dollars to a South African colonizer, a scumbag. Invents nothing. People think he's smart because he's rich. He's rich because he shot out of a rich dude's nutsack. And he thinks he's entitled to shit. And the people who actually work and invent all of this shit, like they're working too hard to go out and get it, and they don't see their own value. They don't think they deserve it. And meanwhile, the most worthless people, this motherfucker is the richest man publicly. Uh, and he's also got the #1 score in Diablo. Like, how many Instacarts did you take while you were like getting the #1 Diablo score? Like how many newspapers did you deliver? To add to your wealth? None. I want to see the stack up, like him making money, like just a visual comparison. His money going up like hourly, because when you just $1 billion, that's $55 million in interest in a basic 5% uh, interest maximizer account, which is like you still have access to spending it. So none of your money is good. You could just live off the interest of that, or you could put it in a CD with a higher yield, or you can buy up the stock market, buy up the politicians, make sure the stocks you invest in go up, and really uh, upshoot your shot. And they usually go the Nancy Pelosi route. Dope shirt, Nate. Oh, you think this is dope? You got to see Anubis. Got the got the matching pattern. So anybody try to kidnap them, that's over. 'Cause, people do want them. I've had some interesting interactions. Also, I almost had to beat a tweaker. It was a bad situation. He was acting like he's about to kick my dog. I was about to, good thing, cooler heads prevailed. You work construction with your dad. Did you ever want to pursue that as a career at all, or was helping your dad just a hobby? I mean, I'm a builder, so I build sets. I do, I did Wu Tang. Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. um, yeah, I do. I build sets. That's what when I'm working the job, because we had like a bunch of new people come in. And I'm just reminded of a lot of the shit my dad said. Like when I was a kid, um, I brought on a friend to start working on my dad's construction site. And we were standing around, and my dad was like, uh, um, he approached my friend. He was like, you know what? I like to stick my hands in my pants too. That's fun looking. But if I did that, all I feel is my dick because I ain't got no money. So why don't you work your job and earn some money? And it was just like I work with lollygaggers. I mean, I'm playful when we're on standby, but like I've had people like not paying attention, run heavy shit, drop heavy shit on me. And it's just like I'm often reminded of a lot of what my dad said. I'm like, I wish he was here because they would not be on his crew. But yeah, that's another story. Hey Nate, what it do? Yeah. Uh I'm out of my beverage. And boom goes the dynamite. And boom goes the dynamite. All right. But yeah, I was about to get off and then I just started getting a barrage of interesting questions. So yeah, it was dope tapping in. I'm gonna do this more often. You're gonna see the new space. Show you the studio I'm gonna be working in. I'm gonna bring my setup down there. It's a beautiful view, and it's gonna be some beautiful stuff going down there. So um, stay tuned. Um, I'll also I have some stuff for you guys as well. It's going. I'm gonna put together a shop on Netflix.net. So lots of stuff in store. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't already. Always love to see how you're doing, man. Been locked in since 2012 YouTube, man. That's the OG. It's an appreciation for people who've been around that long to be able to see the arc, like the shenanigans that I had to go through because it's a long story explaining to the normies, the muggles. You know what I mean? Foolish muggles. Dang, I missed it. Good to see you, dude. Love the fedora and fit. Technically not a fedora, but I make my own haberdashery. So this is a work in action. So you got to see the final product. But I just want to have the African print because it's just, that you got to represent. All right. So don't forget to be good to each other, you guys. Peace.